Mama made the beat, boy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of See Good People. My name is Kelsey Coop Charles, and with me I have Antonio Long.
What's up, folks? How y'all doing?
All right. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing lovely, dog. It's almost, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
I know you've been waiting on this episode for a long time, and unfortunately, I won't have a dog in this fight, so I'm gonna have to sit here and take it. But I'm ride or die. I'm gonna ride with my Cowboys anyway. You know, I know Stephen A. love to hate on them, and the only person I know that loves to hate on them more than Stephen A. is Bro Long.
Yes, sir. Because there's nothing in this world I love more than getting on Gamecock fans is getting on Cowboy fans, because y'all in the same boat. You talk about what you used to do, and you can't do nothing now.
In my expression again, because I can't say anything. I mean, it is what it is. As long as Jerry's leading this thing, we're gonna have some bad times. Bad times.
Yeah, y'all gonna have some bad times for sure.
Yeah, so all my Cowboys fans, get your alcohol ready. It's gonna be a long season. Get your drink of choice together. It's gonna be a long season.
Y'all gonna be drinking like that, dog. Y'all gonna start. Y'all got to play us in the Hall of Fame game. So that's gonna start you downward trend from the start. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, if Jerry would relinquish the reins and let the team do what it can do, we might be all right. But once again, he's gone and got him a coach that cowers to him, so he's still running things. It's just not a good look for the organization. I mean, he has the blueprint back in the 1990s, and everyone took that blueprint and ran with it. Yeah, I got to go back. Yeah, I did.
Bruh, I mean, it's 30 years, man. Let it go, man.
I can't. I mean, you had Jimmy Johnson. You were on the cusp of a dynasty, and we let him off the hook.
Yeah, y'all let him off the hook, man. And I helped you with that dynasty because I still believe Jerry paid Neil O'Donnell to throw them 2 interceptions to Larry Brown. Where's Larry Brown now? Don't know.
He was out of the league the next year, wasn't he?
He went to the Raiders. Raiders paid him $25 million. I mean, we ain't seen him since. We don't know if he's still alive or dead.
Hey, but one thing for sure, O'Donnell made sure he got paid.
Oh, he got paid. O'Donnell got paid after that season. Went to the Jets, and once again, another one. When you leave Pittsburgh, you are never the same. But we'll get into that later on.
Yeah, definitely. So how do we want to kick this thing off?
Well, let's go on and highlight our sponsors for the week.
Okay.
First up is my lovely little niece, Ayana Cerie, and she has her own business now called Cerie's Customs. And what she does is she's because of the pandemic, people have learned a lot of different skills now because they've been at home for so long. So one of the things that my niece has learned is to make art and able to make different products, whether it be t-shirts, cups, glasses, mugs, face masks, anything that you may need, that you may use around the house. She can decorate it with either your name, initials, or a picture of your choice. So just give her a call. Her or her mom on Facebook. They have a Facebook page for the business, Cerie's Customs. You look up for that, and you can order whatever you like. And she has a full listing of everything that she offers on her Facebook page. So that's one of the things that we highlight. The second person we're going to highlight is myself, Tony's Collectibles. I'm on eBay at all 2572. That is my eBay username. If you are looking to get any comic book collectibles or any comics, or even any trade paperbacks, or even any sports memorabilia, I have all of that listed. If you're looking to, if there isn't anything on the site that you're looking for, just inbox me and I will tell you if I have it or not. I have a lot of things. Kelsey's seen my collection over the years, so he knows, I have a lot of stuff. It's just time. I'm getting old, can't do like I used to, so I'm slowly but surely putting everything out there, except for all the Steelers stuff and all of the Atlanta Braves stuff. That stays with me. But anyway, and the last one, we want to give a big shout out and congratulations to our theme music, which was put together by Young Polo, aka Reggie Long, no relation, but like all loans tend to do, they tend to shine. Okay, so Young Polo came up with our 3 theme songs that we will use throughout the course of SGP, and we want to give him a big ups, big thank you. If you want to listen to them, please let us know. Me or Kelsey can provide you with that so you can hear it. One of the things we're going to really try to push with Polo is he's a very talented young man. We want to get him out there. Music is his passion. We want him to utilize his passion and put it to good use. He did a phenomenal job with our 3 theme music cuts. And I think, the more we push him out there, somebody is going to take a listen to. And, if you want to make a song with one of our theme music songs, that's all well and fine. You just got to pay us. That's all. We cash is always good for us. So you just got to pay us. All right.
Most definitely. Once again, shout out to Young Polo and all the other businesses out there. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm telling you, everybody's tapping in that entrepreneurial spirit. Love to see it. Love to hear stories like that.
It's a beautiful thing in the community right now. One of the things I did get hit up from one of our last businesses, design homes and beauty by Miss Sean Allen, Ariel Allen. She listened to the show from last week and was very impressed with us, Kelsey, and wanted to make sure that we knew that. And also her business has doubled just by us promoting a little bit, and also through social media that we publicized her business through both Instagram and Facebook, and she's doubled her clientele for this week. So if once again, if you listen to the podcast, just send us inbox us on Facebook and we'll get you on. This is free publicity. We're not charging you for anything. We believe in building the community, and we want to make sure that everybody gets the same opportunity. Because if we all grow, we all gonna be successful, and that's what we're trying to do. And congratulations, Mr. Charles, on our first 50 downloads. We making moves. Woo! Yes, sir. We making moves, baby. Making moves.
Slowly but surely.
Oh yeah, this in due time. All praises to the Most High. Without him, none of this is possible. Without my boy, none of this is possible. We've been talking about this for a long time, but I'm so glad that it has come about. It's good to sit down and just all, like we say all the time, it's just conversation between 2 friends. That's all.
That's it. Now, I mean, it might go a little left tonight because we're talking about something that's near and dear to us both, but it's all love.
All love.
So we always have that disclaimer. Some of the stuff you hear tonight, you're gonna scratch your head. You'll be like, what are those guys talking about? But hey, at the end of the day, it's all love.
And one of the things we want to say about this one is, this comes at the perfect time. We've had the last 2 podcasts have been a little, heavy, but there was things that we really needed to talk about that's dealing with the community, and we needed to make sure that those things were highlighted. And I appreciate everybody for tuning in to those 2 podcasts. This one right here is for the sports fans that are out there. Sports is a very big part of our life, have always been a big part of our life. The rivalry that is going to be present in the next hour or so is going to be comedy, going to be heartbreak, going to be trash, because we have a love-hate relationship once it comes to football. I hate the Cowboys. I love the Steelers. Kelsey hate the Steelers. He love the Cowboys. And then the unfortunate thing is we don't have our two of our partners here with us, Mr. Sidney Mills and Mr. Steve Brooks, Panther fans, and also another Cowboy fan. If Tough was here, he had to hear it too. But I hope he downloads this one.
But you forgot the #1 Cowboys fan of all time. I'm surprised you didn't let him have a guest appearance on the show tonight.
No, I couldn't do that, man. I couldn't put him on here. This is I do put a disclaimer on all of our podcasts. You know, you may hear some explicit language every now and again. You know, we don't get too bad, but if we had this person, we would probably have to beat the entire show. He is a Cowboy fan from birth. We have pictures of us together when we were little in Steeler and Cowboy pajamas. We used to have the Steeler and Cowboy coats growing up. We trash talk now. And I guarantee you, if he was on right now, he would go on and say, we going to the Super Bowl. Yeah. My brother, Adrian Long, AKA Skeet, is one of the biggest Cowboy fans there is. He's sickening with this stuff about the Cowboys. He talks good 1 minute, and then the next minute he's down in the Cowboys. So he is a true Cowboy fan, because as long as y'all winning, y'all feel great. As soon as y'all start losing, y'all blame everybody.
Well, even when we win, we're holding our breath because we know it's coming. We can't get out of our own way.
You say that, but Skeet has already said y'all going to the Super Bowl. He said that day after this year's Super Bowl that y'all was going to the Super Bowl. And my question to him was, how? Because your defense is stinks.
Garbage.
Yes.
Hot garbage, yeah.
Yeah.
So what it is.
But he said y'all going to the Super Bowl. So we'll have him on during the football season. For sure, because that's going to be true comedy. It won't be just football. I can promise you that. We're going to have him on, and it's going to be, I'll probably just shut up and just let him go.
True stories with Skeet. Now we go ahead and call it that. True stories with Skeet.
Boy, you don't want that. You don't want that. I'm telling you now, you don't want that. But anyway, we're gonna kick this thing off. We're gonna start with the hometown team. We're both, me and Kelsey are from the Carolinas. I thought about, do we need to include the Falcons? But then I was like, we really don't pay the Falcons any attention. So we're gonna do the Carolina Panthers because that's home. And both of us, if we're not playing each other or whatever, we kind of want to see the Panthers do good. I don't belittle the Panthers because they're not my favorite team. We try to go up there at least once a year to watch a game. We missed last year because of the pandemic, but we'll try to get back up there this year to catch somebody. But one of the things with the Panthers this year is what direction they're trying to go in the second year of Matt Rule's coaching experience. The thing is going to be, you got rid of Cam last year, so you basically was without a quarterback, even though Teddy Bridgewater did a decent job. There were some games I saw last year that Teddy lost those games because he made a bad play or a bad move. I think that Thursday night game against Atlanta last year was one of the ones that Panthers were in the game the whole time, and then they're going on the final drive. He threw an interception. Y'all had some injuries last year that kind of derailed some things. You still got to recover from the loss of Luke Kuechly on defense. The retirement. The what?
That's hard to replace. That's hard to replace Kuechly. That's all.
That's kind of like trying to replace Ray Lewis, man. I mean, Luke Kuechly was that type of player. So that's a big void in the middle. Shaq Thompson does a great job for the Panthers, but I really don't think he's best suited as middle linebacker. I think he's better as an outside linebacker. The Panthers star, well, let's start off with the trade that they made. Needed a quarterback. I think Matt Rule feels like he can make something out of Sam Darnold. He got Sam Darnold from the Jets for a 6th round pick in 2021. and a second round and fourth round pick in 2022. So basically you gave up 6 picks, well, 3 picks and no players to get Sam Darnold, who's in his 3rd year, I believe.
This will be his 4th year.
Fourth year. Really don't know what Sam Darnold is because he played for the Jets. So you don't know if he's a really good quarterback. Watched him in college. He was decent. Didn't know, it's hard to say when you go to the Jets because the Jets never put anything around him. So it's one of those type situations.
Well, let's talk about this right quick. I'm not going to interrupt your train of thought here, but let's look at the numbers from last year of Sam Darnold. You said, obviously, we talked about it before we went on air. He was on a bad Jets team. 2,200 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Teddy Bridgewater, 3,700 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. I think you hit it on the head. We don't know what Sam Darnold is going to be yet because he really hadn't had the opportunity to shine. But if we go back to Teddy Bridgewater, he had Minnesota in the hunt before he went down with that leg injury that almost cost him his career and his leg. Then he made his comeback. And I mean, in the absence of Drew Brees, I mean, he did a phenomenal job. I mean, he didn't lose a game. Played himself into a starting position, I think, with Carolina Panthers. And it may have been more of an experiment this year, kind of like it was with Kirk Cousins the last year at Washington. You playing off that potential to see if that could land you somewhere. I think he went in there thinking, okay, maybe Carolina may not be my home, but if I play out my expectations, they might keep me or they might hold me for a while. But what does that do to a proven player? Because he has proven himself in the NFL prior to the injury, that you would trade for a younger up and coming quarterback. What does that do? I mean, what do you feel that does to a player?
Well, I think for Teddy, I think the biggest thing was you came in, you got a rookie head coach, you had some talent. They were looking positive toward the middle of the year before Christian McCaffrey went down with the injury. After that, they still made some strides. Mike Davis did a pretty good job filling in for McCaffrey. And last year they had Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore and Brian Anderson at wide receiver. That's going to push them. I think they lost Curtis Samuel, so you may see them at some point try to get another wide receiver and maybe a tight end during the draft. But what it did for Teddy Bridgewater was, in a way, it was a good comeback from injury, getting a full-time playing assignment rather than just a part-time job that he had with the Saints. But for Teddy, if he wanted to be sustained as a starter, he got to embrace this challenge, because what's going to happen is everybody is assuming that Darnold's going to be your quarterback. Darnold's going to be your quarterback, and if Teddy comes in and plays better, I believe Teddy's going to get the starting job because he is a veteran. He's been through it. Darnold, again, not a proven commodity, so you don't know exactly what you're getting from it. And for what you gave up, it's not a steep price, but it's a price. Anytime you trade draft picks, that it has the opportunity to put your team behind for a few years. So it's all gonna come down to coaching. Matt Rule did a good job last year, but still you finished third in the division. No, you finished fourth in the division. No, third.
They were third. They were third.
Finished third because the Falcons finished below them. You had some good wins. You beat Tampa Bay last year. You beat the Saints last year. Typical NFC South showdown. They all hate each other, so it's always a battle when those 4 teams play each other. So it's one of those things where this is a opportunity. Even if Teddy doesn't stay in Carolina next year, this is an opportunity to put him in position to be a starter somewhere else next year. So he needs to embrace the challenge.
So you think, what are the odds of him staying there throughout? I mean, and starting the season there? Or back 50-50, 80-20?
I think 50-50 because we're not going to know where we are. The other quarterbacks that are on the roster are not very good. You don't want to get rid of an asset unless you're getting something mighty good back in return. I would hold on to him because you don't know what's going to happen. I wouldn't get rid of him because, like I said, Will Greer is not he played last year. He was terrible. That was a wasted draft pick from a couple of years ago. And it's obvious. And this is one of the things, and kind of had the same thing in Atlanta a couple of years ago. When you try to replace someone that was as popular as Cam, and someone that could do so many different things on the football field, you kind of put yourself in a bad situation because, a lot of people felt like Cam should have still been in Carolina and given the opportunity to try to win. If you go back and look at Cam during the time he was there, Cam never really had receivers other than Greg Olsen. Steve Smith his first couple of years, but Panthers made the decision to get rid of Steve Smith. That was a bad move, especially when you didn't get nothing for him. You just let him walk. Exactly. Wide receiver is a deep position in the league, but one of the things about it, you got to find a special type receiver. They thought they had it with Kelvin Benjamin, and as you see, where is Kelvin Benjamin now?
Is he even in the NFL anymore?
He went to Buffalo. I don't know if he's still playing, or if he was hurt last year, or he opted out. I don't know. I know he went to Buffalo, and that's about all I can tell you about Kelvin Benjamin. Other than he caught the game-winning touchdown in the championship game against Auburn. That's other than that, I can't tell you too much about Kelvin Benjamin, bro. That's just how it's been. But the key for the Panthers is going to be who plays quarterback, getting Christian McCaffrey back healthy, dynamic player. Had the opportunity to watch him 2 years ago up there. The boy's good, man. I can't take nothing from him.
But let me ask this question. McCaffrey, has he played a full season in the NFL yet? And I know people get hit with the injury bug all the time, but at what point do you pull
his rookie year, he played all 16 games.
His Cam was there, so he didn't have as much of a workload.
He didn't have to do as much, but the holes were bigger when Cam was there because you always had to keep an eye on Cam. That was one of the differences in the offense from the previous year. Not having Cam there, you could load the box up and dare Teddy to beat you. And while Teddy makes good decisions, Teddy is not going to be someone that's going to take advantage of a one-on-one situation down the field. And plus, with the Panthers offense, you really didn't have. You had Anderson, who's a big receiver, that's more equipped to go across the middle, not go deep. DJ Moore is your speedster, but even with that, they very rarely send him deep. So it's one of those things where you got to get some players that's going to stretch the field if you're going to play like that, because Christian is always, I would always put 9 in the box against him because you can't block everybody, man.
Well, here's the next question though. At what point did they start addressing that O-line? Because
I'll say the first pick.
Too.
I say the first pick. I would, if I was them, offensive line should be priority for the Panthers. If you go the first 2 picks and you don't make an offensive line pick, it's a bad draft already. You gotta take advantage of this. They got the 8th pick in the draft, and one of the things that came out the other day was they were talking about trading out of that spot and trading back. Unless you're trading back to get more picks, I don't think that's a good move.
No, not at all.
Now granted, right now there's only one elite tackle in the draft, and that's the kid from Oregon. But other than that, there's some guards and centers that need to be addressed. and you got all you have a need at all three.
So is there anybody out there in free agency that they could target? I mean, to I guess speed that process along.
They brought in some lower tier guys at guard and center during the free agent period. Nobody that's big names that you would know unless you watch college football, you understand it. But right now, I would say their biggest issue is you got to find a left tackle that's comparable, and then at the same time you got to address your two inside positions, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to run the football at all.
Not at all.
So you know, offensive line is always going to be a key. If you don't have one, you got to get one. Their next spot after that is probably wide receiver and tight end. I think they first 2 nights in the draft ought to be dedicated strictly to the offense. Defense isn't bad, but again, you got to find somebody to replace Kuechly with. That's not going to be easy. Kuechly is a potential Hall of Famer. It's going to be hard to try to replace that in the middle. Defense didn't have the same bite that it normally would have with Kuechly there. So that was a big disappointment from previous years. You understand why Kuechly retired, but at the same time, this is the second time the Panthers have had to go through this. Remember, they had Dan Morgan back in the day. Same thing, concussions did Dan Morgan in. Same thing with Kuechly. So the Panthers in their short, brief history have had 2 outstanding middle linebackers, well, 3 with Sam Mills, 3 outstanding middle linebackers, and it hasn't proven to get you a championship. They've gotten to championship games, they've gotten to the Super Bowl, but haven't been able to bring it home because the offense or defense or lack thereof, both have kind of hindered them. So that's going to be the key coming up.
Yeah, definitely.
So you got anything you want to put a bow on the Panthers?
No, I think to all the Panthers fans out there, just keep pounding. I think they'll make some strides. Should we look for any huge strides this year? I don't think so. Within the next 2 seasons, because there's a small window. I mean, McCaffrey's been in the league, 3 years now?
3 years.
And I think he's, as far as running backs go, I mean, with the wear and tear, it's getting kind of long in there too. I think that window, that position is kind of closing. But if they can beef that O-line up, I think that's going to be the key for them. You definitely need to make some strides at O-line.
Well, you got
the quarterback situation, and then O-line definitely.
Yeah, that's going to be key for them going forward.
Yeah, because they weren't bad. I mean, they had 4,000 total pass yards, 1,700 rush yards, 19 touchdowns on the ground, 67.8% pass rating. So I mean, defense was kind of suspect last year because they only had 7 takeaways, 7 interceptions. But interceptions. I don't know about fumbles, but
no, they didn't have they didn't create a lot because you don't have that thumper that you used to have in the middle that caused problems.
Right.
That's what hindered them. And then the backside of their defense, they have an excellent corner in Goodwin, but other than that, their safeties are not real impressive. The scheme that they play is basically read and react type scheme with Matt Rule. There's no downhill rushing, so it's going to be hard for them to win. They don't have the ends, they don't have the linebackers, they don't have the safeties and corners to hold up.
All right, so my question to you, and we'll move on from here. Where do you see them? What's their record this year, and where are they in the NFC South?
They were 5-11 last year. The best I could see is maybe 7-9 if a few things break right for them. I see them at least third. I think they're better than the Falcons. Falcons basically are hindered by a terrible defense, and you ain't got nobody but Julio Jones. So
we'll spend the last 5 minutes on the Falcons because they're kind of unique. But we'll talk about them at the end.
We'll talk about that. We'll come back to deep. But third in the South. That's where I believe 7-9, 6-10. I can't see them being better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Only way they're gonna be better than that is Sam Darnold comes in and plays out of his head, and I ain't looking for it. So
yeah, given that they give him an opportunity over Teddy Bridgewater,
well,
it's going to happen at some point.
In order for them to be in the hunt for the playoffs, one of them two gonna have to play great.
Yeah, definitely.
If not, they're not gonna make the playoffs. So
okay. And on that note, we'll move on. I'm gonna give the floor to you. Go ahead and rant. And I'm gonna change your name right now. Go ahead, Stephen A. Do what you do.
What we finna do right now is we finna go into America's team. You know, they still have that moniker. We talk about them at nauseum as being America's team, the greatest team in all of the NFL. You know, that team from down in Texas that has that star on their helmet. I shut my eyes at night because I don't even like to see stars because of the fact I hate the Cowboys so much. So with that being said, we go into the 2021-2022 season, and the Cowboys are once again favorite to win the NFC East. Why, I don't know, but for some reason they always pick to win the East. For some reason, they always lose on the last Sunday of the year, and that loses them their place.
Well, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, and I'm going to tell you right now, Riverboat Ron scares me. We're going to have to watch out for that team, the no-name team.
The no-name team, I wish Lucius was here now, for real. The no-name team is probably going to win the division. A lot of people in the media are talking about the Giants being dark horses just because of the Giants defense. Giants defense was pretty impressive last year, even though their offense was terrible.
So Saquon went down. So I mean, you know.
Well, I mean, even with Saquon being there, their offense isn't that great. I mean, Danny Dimes has some good plays and whatever, but
the Turf Monster got him last year too. You got to remember.
Well, you're tripping over crickets, man. I mean, you know, when you do that, you ain't supposed to win. That's the bottom line. No. But every year we start the season off and we talk about the Cowboys as potential Super Bowl picks from out of the NFC. We hear it all the time from Cowboy fans, how great y'all are. I've yet to see it. Y'all hadn't won anything of note. You know, you got a couple of division titles in the last 30 years, but you hadn't been anything big since 1995. We ain't gonna talk about that right now. But
yeah,
we ain't gonna talk about that right now. But since then, y'all have been on a consistent downward trend, except for a few pokey.
We had some good years under Romo. But anyway, let's talk about 2020. And I knocked the pause in him. Yes, I did.
You talking about Danny White Jr. That's who you talking about, Danny White Jr. Yeah. The Cowboys right now, the biggest question that I have going forward on Thursday night is, will Jerry make another draft day mistake?
That's kind of like that's a given. I think he will. I think he will flex his muscle as the team's owner, and he will make one of those gut decisions and leave everybody else to pick up the pieces to make him look good.
Okay, so what do you feel like is your biggest need going into the draft?
If I'm being honest with myself, we need to pay somebody. We need to get somebody behind the linebackers. We have been historically burned. I don't think we had a great cornerback since the 2006-2007 season. I want to say that was Jacques Reeves. I mean, we've had some good ones, but when it came time to pay him, Jerry let him walk every time.
Terrence Newman wasn't no good, man.
Man, Terrence Newman was 62 when he was playing with us, man. Come on, man. But no, he was okay. I mean, he just didn't show up at the right time. I'll put it that way. I'm not taking anything away from Terrence. Terrence, if you ever hear this, man, I'm just, hey, look, I think you're a phenomenal person, phenomenal player, whatever. You know, it is what it is. Because you had a long career. But I mean,
because you had a long career don't mean you were good, man.
Well, hey, he managed to keep that roster spot. But you know, I mean, I think basically what we got to do is we need to pick somebody up past the linebackers to help out. Like I said, we've been consistently burned. We actually really need a safety. We really need a safety. We need a general out there on defense to actually put people in place. I will say Sean Lee was that guy when we had him out there. I mean, we could pretty much stop the run. We could do everything we wanted to when Sean Lee was there. But the problem is, Sean Lee would play week 1, week 2. You wouldn't see him again until week 16. So, I mean, he got hit by the injury bug a lot. And he just retired this year, this off season. But
Yep.
we definitely need some help. I mean, the Cowboys finished 6-10 last year. Dak went down with a gruesome injury. We all saw that play out on live TV on Sunday night.
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough, man. I as much as I hate y'all, I hate to see anybody get hurt, man.
Yeah.
Don't never wish that on no player other than Tom Brady. But I felt for Dak because Dak bet on himself, but he did end up getting a nice fat contract. Because one of the things that it proved that y'all really do need Dak because the rest of your offense is garbage if Dak's not there, man.
I mean, for all the talent that we have on that roster, I mean, you look at Amari Cooper, you look at CeeDee Lamb, Gallup, Zeke. But I mean, last year was kind of an anomaly as well because our whole offensive line was decimated. Of course, you got Travis Frederick retiring. If you look at our lineup, our offensive line from game to game, is a who's who. I don't know how many different lineups we had. I mean, but here again, you're professionals, next man up. Everyone's got to be ready, to do what they do. But at the same time, that's kind of hard when you don't have that cohesiveness, that gelling. And then playing in a 3-4 defense that we aren't equipped for. I mean, it was like just America's Funniest Home Video out there every time we were on defense. I mean, it was hard to watch. It's still my team. I love them. It was hard to watch.
Now, one of the things I probably get accused of, is I'm a Cowboy, faithful Cowboy hater, but I watch y'all. And I watch y'all just for the jokes that I can get for the next day. Because y'all gonna give me one.
I know Stephen A. I know how you
even do. If y'all win, y'all gonna give me one that I can tell. But one of the things I've seen, your coaching last year left a lot to be desired, man. I felt like, when y'all hired Mike McCarthy, I said, that might be pretty good. But he kind of proved to me that Aaron Rodgers kept his job in Green Bay for all these years, man, because one of the things I saw, he was lost. And he's supposed to be an offensive guru, but he was lost,
back in the day. But the game has evolved. It's kind of like Nick Saban. He's a defensive guru, but once he saw Deshaun Watson, he said, you know what? The game has changed. I mean, he had a very stout defense, but Deshaun blistered him for 400-something yards. He knew then that he had to go out and change his offense. I mean, still a great defense, but when you started adding people like Tua, quarterbacks like that, it brought their game up. So he was able to adjust. He didn't do it on the NFL level. He did it on the college level. But McCarthy, he had success on the NFL level. Like you said, on Aaron Rodgers.
But I'm questioning his success now because last year he looked like he was lost, man. Like he had never coached a day in the NFL.
So you're saying he had the Krispy Kreme look?
He was glazed, baby. Glazed and heavily glazed. It was some games last year, y'all look utterly pathetic on offense, man, after Dak went down. And it was a couple of games that Dak played. The Seattle game,
we question a lot. Yeah.
We question a whole lot of stuff in that game. You know what I'm saying? And then one of the other things, even though Dak went down with a horrible injury, you pay Zeke a lot of money, man. Zeke.
Ever since he jumped in that pot, man. Ever since he jumped in that pot, he hadn't been the same.
Well, and see, that's the thing, man. I mean, you should have, even if you lost your quarterback, you should have been able to run the football. Yeah. I know you got offensive line problems, but I'll be one of the ones to say I always felt like y'all offensive line was overrated.
When they were healthy, now they were one of the best out there.
All I hear is Tyron Smith, Zach Martin.
They had a few good years in there. They kind of got long in the tooth. Tyron got hit with the injury bugs. I mean, he was out a lot this year. I mean, he didn't give up too many sacks on that side.
But see, they talk about Zach Martin like he Larry Allen, man. That gets on my nerves because I'm like, come on, bro. Larry Allen and Nate Newton, that was y'all anchors for a long time.
Yeah, Larry Allen. I mean, when who was that? Troy threw that interception. Larry went and ran the dude down, ran the linebacker down.
Yeah,
he wasn't supposed to do that. Yeah, that's athleticism you just don't see. He was hauling what 280 pounds, 300 something pounds.
300, probably 330. Larry Allen was big, man.
Yeah, he ran him down. He turned the Jets on.
Yeah,
yeah. We had some all time greats come through. I mean, the game has evolved. It has changed a little bit, but I think our biggest need is pass the linebackers. You need to pay the safeties and the corners because we let Byron Jones walk last year. I mean, you should have paid that man. You should let him stay.
Well, I see y'all did pick up a former Clemson Tiger, J-Ron Curse. J-Ron was a great college player, but he hadn't did anything of note in the NFL. He's a big boy playing safety. He's 6'5", legit 225. Freak of nature, but just hadn't manifested itself in the NFL. You also got another Clemson player to play on your defensive line, Carlos Watkins. He played with the Texans, his first 4 years in the league and came over. So that's gonna beef up y'all line. The what the boy name? Van der Esch. Is he gonna take over for Sean Lee?
I think he has potential to if he can stop if he can beat the injury bug. I'll put it that way.
Well, I think that's going to be another important thing for you all. You have Smith at linebacker, but y'all going to have to go ahead and you're going to have to find a middle linebacker at some point during this draft. And I just think Jerry's just really he talking Kyle Pitts at tight end with y'all first pick, man. And I just think that's ridiculous.
He's got to go Surtain. He's got to. I mean, that's critical. If he doesn't do that, that's going to be a bust.
If he don't go Surtain, if Surtain's still on the board and he bypasses Surtain and don't take him, I gladly take him or J.C. Horn. I need that on my team.
I think with the quarterback situation this year, I think there's a very strong chance that Surtain will still be sitting on the board because this with quarterback potential. I mean, you got Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, you've got what's my man named Wilson? Is it Wilson?
Zach Wilson.
Yeah. You've got some quarterbacks out there. You've got some. I mean, you take is Waddle coming out this year?
Waddle's coming out this year.
And then what's my man?
And Devontae Smith is coming out.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a strong chance. The teams that are ahead of the Cowboys, they really need help offensively. So therefore, it's a strong possibility that he's there. I mean, I hope they don't pass on him because I think he passed on Alex Barron some years back. Alex Barron was pretty much the same bill, 6'2". They went with I think they went with Claiborne.
They went with Mo Claiborne. Yeah,
they passed on Barron and went with Claiborne.
But I'm not gonna question that pick because at the time Mo Claiborne was the best corner coming out. At that time,
with the height.
He was hyped and everything, but
Claiborne was what 5'10" at best on a good day.
Yeah, but Mo had proved itself, man, because when you playing in the SEC, you playing against top flight competition all the time, man. And Nuke lit up Mo Claiborne in the Peach Bowl that year, and remember 14-16 with his back turned.
And they still went with him.
Yeah, so that was
Nuke ain't normal, but still.
No, Nuke ain't normal. Texans still reeling from that trade and gonna continue to reel from that trade.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you want to put a bow on the Cowboys? Yeah,
I think Jerry, if you're listening, I know we might not be as big right now. But just take it from an old country boy from South Carolina. Pay your safeties and your corners, please. Help us. Help us. Pay those guys. Don't get Kyle Pitts. I understand. Yeah, it's all good. If you want to get anything related to a tight end, get a line to cover a tight end. That's what I would say. But pay somebody past your linebackers, and that'd be my only thing. I mean, I'm gonna end it at that.
All right, man. We're gonna end it right there, and we're gonna move on to the proud franchise from Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania. That is not the one, not the one in Philadelphia, but the proud franchise in Pennsylvania. 6-time Super Bowl champions. You know, one of the greatest football teams to ever grace the gridiron. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
The only reason why I'm not going to say anything is because of Mike Tomlin. Out of respect for Omar Epps, I'm not going to say anything.
Don't be talking about my coach, man. You wish you had Mike Tomlin. You know what I'm saying? Now, one of the things I will say about Mike is, you know, I'm glad he got the extension. Steelers in the last 54 years have had 3 coaches. Only team in the NFL that can say that. One of the things that makes Mike one of the best coaches in the league is his ability to get the most out of his players at the right time. Now, the only problem with that is the right time the last few years has been September through November. Our December and January has been terrible the last 2 years. We've failed to make the playoffs the year before last, even though Mike has never had a losing record. Mike has failed to go in the playoffs, and then the last 3 times we've been to the playoffs, we haven't won a game in the playoffs. So it's becoming more and more critical. You know, you got the naysayers out there that saying, you know, he's not a good coach, but Mike is a great coach. The thing that has held them back is some of the decision making by some of the players and some of the coaches on the staff. We continue to play a 3-4 defense. I think we have personnel for a 3-4. Our only problem is we don't call the 3-4 the way we used to call it when Dick LeBeau was there. There's no need for TJ Watt, reigning defensive player of the year. TJ Watt.
Shameless plug, people. Shameless plug. But anyway, go ahead.
Reigning defensive player of the year. Not his brother, but TJ. You know, having him dropping in coverage is a waste of his talent, man. You know, TJ never needs to be dropping in coverage. When Dick LeBeau was there, when we had Greg Lloyd and Joy Porter, Kevin Green, all of those guys never dropped in coverage. If they did, it was maybe once or twice during the game. When we had James Harrison, it was once or twice during the game. One of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history is the 100-yard interception return by James Harrison. That was him faking like he was rushing and dropping back in the slant and catching the ball. I mean, we don't even call the defense the same way anymore. Now, granted, you can do things when you have players like James Harrison and Troy Polamalu and Lawrence Timmons and things like that.
Don't forget Chad Brown. Don't forget Chad Brown.
Chad Brown, you know, you can do stuff like that, man, but you can't do that when you are struggling. And one of the things that cost us last year down the stretch was we had a lot of injuries during the season. We lost Bud Dupree. We lost Devin Bush during the season. That was our 2 other better linebackers. Then you playing with backups at that point, and they just didn't measure up. They're good special teams players, but every down linebackers, they're not every down linebackers. And then just like y'all, we have a big problem on the back end of our defense because we can't cover a bed. And we get burnt a lot. You still can't run on us, which is always a good thing. You can't run on us. Now, we didn't prove that in the playoffs because Cleveland ran all over us. But
for the season, you only allow 4.3 yards per carry. I mean, that's pretty good.
I mean, we do that. I mean, and that's playing against Lamar twice a year. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we pretty much handle Lamar both times we played him, even though we split the series last year. But, you know, it's always one of those things where, you know, we put a lot of emphasis on beating good teams, and then
Mhm.
we let no-name teams beat us. Our first loss last year was the Bengals, man. I mean, come on.
But your division has turned the corner. I mean, it used to be just you all, but now you got to deal with Baker and you got to deal with Lamar.
I
I don't know
still
what the
don't.
Bengals are going to do,
I still don't think Baker's any good, man. I'll be the first person to say that.
but his personnel, you got Landry, OBJ when he's got his head in the game. You got a couple of running backs over there that are big time.
It's still Cleveland, man, and it's hard for me to say the Browns are anything because that ain't Jim Brown back there, bro. You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying? I'm never gonna give the Browns any credit because I don't respect the Cleveland Browns. I respect the Baltimore Ravens. They have a history that has been well documented as the best rivalry in football is against the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even better than y'all in the no-name team.
That's true.
It's because our games mean something most of the time. We're not playing for a draft position. We playing for championships. Both of us most of the time.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but you all have a good system. I'll put it that way. I mean, you deal with in-house stuff really well. I mean, when you can't, you get rid of your people because nobody would have known Antonio Brown had the problems he had. They never knew why he was at Pittsburgh. It was only after you all released him. But it's a certain expectation, when you go there. Your owner allows the coaches to do what they're supposed to do, and run the ship. They don't have much input. They trust that the people they've hired can do the job. And that's one of the things I wish Jerry would do a little bit more of, because I think, honestly, I think he has the talent right now to make a deep playoff run. I'm not going to say Super Bowl, but I think he has the personnel to do what he needs to do, minus one or two pieces that I think he can fill that void in the playoffs if everyone stays, in the draft, if everyone stays healthy. But Pittsburgh and New England have been consistent with that. That's something that Jimmy Johnson did in the early 90s.
Right.
And you can see the fruits of his labor come through with the Steelers, because the Steelers were relevant in the 90s, the 2000, the 2010s, and and even going into the 2020 area. Yeah, they're still going to be relevant because they run a good ship. They run a tight ship.
The thing with the Steelers is this here. There's an expectation of excellence when it comes to the Steelers. When you come to that, when you become part of that organization, we believe in building through the draft. The draft is where we make our hay. We don't spend a lot of money on free agents. If we do, we it's somebody that can immediately impact us and help us. That's what has made us what we are and why we're one of the greatest teams there is. We make our money on draft day. We find these no-name players from small schools or even, every now and again we'll get a big name player, but we make sure when we go after these players that they fit our system. We don't get players just because of names and everything like that. They got to fit what we do. And if they don't fit what we do, you're not going to be there. One of the things, I was a big proponent when we had the issues with Le'Veon and the issues with Antonio Brown. I was one of the first ones to say, get rid of them. They wasn't worth the headache. And a lot of people, told me I was crazy. But the thing is, that's not the Steeler way.
No man above the team.
You don't do stuff like they've done. We gave you a legitimate good contract. You didn't want it. You sat out a whole year and you went to football purgatory. Now you did get your ring because you played with the Chiefs.
Did he get one? I thought this year was his first year with the
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
This year was the first year with the Chiefs. So you got an AFC championship ring. I'll put it like that. Yeah. But
you never really saw him on the field, though. I mean, he's been ghosted since he left Pittsburgh.
He isn't. You cannot do what you do and take a year off and not play. We offered him a legitimate good contract when his time was up. 3 years, $42 million. I mean, I don't understand what the problem is. That's $14 million a year. You would have been the highest paid running back
at the time. Yeah,
at the time, and you would have been rewarded highly competently And the thing about it is you didn't want that. You wanted wide receiver money. And, Steelers, a lot of people get on us talking about we won't pay nobody or whatever. We pay who is necessary.
Right.
Troy Polamalu had a huge contract when he was there. Ben Roethlisberger has had to take 2 pay cuts because of the contract that he had. Now, this hopefully is Ben's last year. I'll be the first one to say, Ben, you've been a great player for us, but your time is gone.
Who's their parent though?
We got Haskins for little or nothing because after the no-name team cut him last year. We picked him up. Mike feels like a reclamation project with him. I don't know.
You got to stay at the strip club. I mean, that's the one thing.
I don't
think
hurt,
I
don't think he, I didn't think that much of him because he went to Ohio State anyway. Just from the standpoint, you put up big yards against Big Ten teams, man. You don't do that, against anybody else. So, I mean, that's not proving anything to me. Ideally, I was a strong proponent when Deshaun Watson came out and said he wanted to be traded. I was a strong proponent to give him whatever he wanted to get to Pittsburgh.
Well, given the situation now, how do you think that's going to play out?
Yeah, give him whatever he wants to get to Pittsburgh.
You think he's going to play this year? Or he's going to be on the exempt list?
I don't think he's going to be on the exempt list because the thing about that is you got to have the NFL is investigating. You got to have something credible. And right now, it's a lot of people saying stuff. I just can't see this person that they talking about ain't the same person that was at Clemson. I just put it like that. So it's hard for me to believe that he's out there being like this. But you get $180 million, you lose your mind. But I just can't see it. Just from the standpoint of none of this was said prior to he saying he wanted a trade. So before that, nobody said anything. My problem with them is you traded away the boy best receiver, man. He still led the league in passing last year.
He did. Record didn't show it, but yeah, he did.
Passing to a bunch of no names, man. So it's like if he could get on a good team and somebody that could win, that's why I say, man, give up whatever you got to get him, because there aren't any quarterbacks that's coming out. I don't have anybody on my roster. Mason Rudolph is garbage. Joshua Dobbs is a decent backup. That's all he's going to do. He could win you a football game in a 1-game situation. Mm-hmm. But if he got to play 2, 3, 4 weeks, you're going to shut him down because, he's not the most accomplished fella at quarterback. We need that. And looking out over the next 3 years, unless we stink, which we won't, because we always going to win. We're going to have a winning record. We're going to be picking anywhere from 16 to 24 most of the time. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get a good quarterback unless you trade up.
Well, let's put this out there. I think Justin Fields, his draft stock has dropped, which I don't know why. I mean, I guess they have him projected to go to San Francisco, but for whatever reason, his stock has dropped. Now, it's highly unlikely that he's still on the board at number 24. But if he is, by some chance,
I wouldn't pick him. At 24, we got more pressing needs than trying to get a quarterback. I would probably say our biggest need right now, we lost our first ballot Hall of Famer, Marquise Pouncey, at center. We're going to have to replace that. We're going to have to replace Villanueva at tackle, so that we got to find out the left tackle. We lost Ramon Foster. It was one of our capable guards. So right now we are thin at offensive line, so we need to get on that. We got to find a running back, man. James Conner, much as I love him, love the story, love the comeback, Pittsburgh kid. Hey man, you ain't it. I'm sorry, we gave you a shot, but you ain't it.
Travis coming out of the draft. ETN, y'all can get him. He'll probably still be on the board then.
I don't know if he's gonna be there at 24 though, because I think it's some teams gonna realize, man, even though he's small in stature, he runs big. And if you got an offensive line, he you know, all he needs is a crease.
Yeah, because he's deceptively fast. It doesn't look like he's moving, but he's pulling away.
Yeah. All he needs is a crease. You give him a little bit of crease, and he can get through it, and you know, you going on and take it to the high.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to get him. I think he improved last year as a pass catcher. Running back, you know, he always, you know, he's Clemson's all-time rushing leader. So, you know, obviously to get in front of CJ Spiller, you know, you've had to run the football pretty decently during your career.
Yeah.
You only played 3 years, you know what I'm saying? So you had to run the football pretty decently at Clemson. And you didn't even start your freshman year.
Well, he put up quarterback numbers. I mean, half the season. You talking about 200-something yards a game? That's unheard of, man. But,
well, I mean, you know, it's one of those things where I've seen him have, you know, 180 yards in the first half. You know, on probably about 5 carries. You know, and you like, man, God dog. You know, because that's just how explosive he is. I feel like he would help us if he was there. I'm not sure he's going to be there. We also need wide receiver help. Even though Hunter and Washington and Claiborne did good, Claypool did good last year. We still missing Juju ain't no number one, so we still missing a big receiver. All our receivers, except for Claypool, are small in stature, and that's kind of hard for being 6'8", and Antonio Brown made up for a lot of mistakes that being made because Antonio Brown would adjust to the football. We haven't had that recently. Ben's arm is a problem after the elbow surgery. And you saw that toward the end of last year. We couldn't throw the football at all. And when you can't run and you can't throw, man, it's just so hard to win.
It's a recipe for disaster.
And that's what happened to us. You know, everybody got hurt. Defense stayed on the field far too much. And, you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, Mike always does a good job, you know, winning the games that he wins. We got to get Devin Bush back from injury. We got to replace Bud Dupree. He left. I think he went to Tennessee, I believe. You know, we got to get to a better place. I'm not enamored with my offense coordinator or my defense coordinator. They leave a lot to be desired in play calling on both sides of the ball. I know you were dealing with Ben coming off elbow injury, but formation wise, we don't do anything that's deceptive. We don't go in motion. Our motion is basically to improve our blocking scheme. It's not to see what the defense is. I hate when announcers say, well, Ben's seen everything. No, he ain't, because if he's seen everything, he wouldn't throw the interception that he throw.
Well, no, I tell you that I tend to disagree with you there because we had a guy in Dallas, and you can hear him on Sundays, that could pick a defense apart in his mind, but his body just couldn't do it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you about Romo. Romo knows a lot, he sees a lot, but the thing about it is seeing it when you up in the booth and seeing it when you're on the field. And I know from being on the field, sometimes you can call the plays. I sit at home and I can call the plays just by the formation most of the time.
Well, he saw it on the field too, but I mean, I take that Detroit game as a pivotal point.
Which one?
The one where he had a 27-3 lead and they lost the game because he threw like 4 interceptions in a row in the first half.
But that wasn't all on him though.
Well, he saw some things, but his body just deceived him. His arm just wasn't there where it needed to be.
That wasn't all on him, because if I'm remembering that game correctly, Megatron kind of like
that's a different game.
Oh, that wasn't that game?
No, that was a different game. I mean, that game, for all intents and purposes, in the first quarter was over. It was 27-3 the first quarter.
But wasn't Megatron playing in that game?
I think he did, but he really wasn't a factor that game. That wasn't the one he had 300-something yards. That wasn't the one.
Oh, that wasn't the one where he caught the touchdown on 5 of y'all? Oh, okay. All right. when is he up for Hall of Fame? Because I know who need to give him his speech for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I need some more in this cup. I tell you,
Jerry need to give him the speech for the Hall of Fame because y'all made that man a Hall of Fame.
Well, if that's the case, Brandon Carr needs to give Odell Beckham his speech. Because that one-handed catch, I mean, I still don't understand that. Pass interference all day, and he still got a touchdown. But anyway,
Odell's a bad man. He's a bad man
against the Cowboys.
Yeah, all the time. Everybody's like that, man. Randy, y'all put Randy in the league. I mean, in the Hall of Fame too now.
Yeah, I need some more in this cup. Boy,
yeah. You know, you went there,
you
but
bringing up old stuff, man.
To put a ball in the Steelers. Again, we're gonna make our hay in the draft like we always do. We got so many needs. It's gonna be hard to say who we gonna pick up. Ideally, I would want a quarterback. I don't see trading up to try to get anybody. The only quarterback worth getting in this draft is Trevor Lawrence. Everybody is so enamored with these other 4 quarterbacks. I just don't see it. I don't think Justin Fields is ready. I don't think Zach Wilson's ready. I don't think Taylor Lane is ready. But quarterback is what makes the NFL go around. I just don't see it. And it's going to be weak. And I think that's leading to some of the desperate measures that's going to come in this draft. Because what's going to happen is with them having the lack of quality quarterbacking coming up in college, this draft is probably your last good opportunity to get a good quarterback with potential that I see right now.
What about Uagalele? I think I said that right, from Clemson. I mean, he's a big guy.
Oh, he's going, but he's still 2 years away. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
He true freshman last year. He's going to be great. Last year, he impressed me in the Notre Dame game. And you playing without your best wide receiver. It wasn't his fault they lost that game. The defense did not show up, period.
At all. But I knew that was going to be a weakness for Clemson last year anyway. I mean, it's just they lost too much. But what time we have left? I'm gonna spend a few seconds on the Falcons.
On the Falcons,
because they are in the area. So I mean,
okay, go ahead.
What do you see being the problem with the Falcons? I mean, after they lost the Super Bowl to the Patriots, I mean, you pretty much had the same personnel. That just hadn't been the same team.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, the Falcons. That was a devastating loss, man. You was up 28-3. You lost the game. You lost the game, man. That was a devastating loss. You can't get over it. You done lost your coach, some players from that team. But the thing,
you still got the core though. You still got Julio. You still got Matt. You had Ridley. Then you got what's my other receiver name? I can't remember.
Talking about
Gabe or whatever. No,
yeah.
Gabe. You got him. I mean, you got decent. Well, I'm not too big on Gurley. I mean, Gurley, he's okay, but
Todd used up, man. Todd was used up when he left Georgia, man.
Injuries and his knees.
Yeah, he used up, man. Because you remember in the Clemson game, I think that was his junior year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his sophomore year. His junior year, he ran the touchdown back against us in Athens. But his junior year, remember, he had 150 yards in the first half and ain't had nothing in the second half.
Yeah.
So he burned out. And we pretty much after that, we put the clamps on him and Sony Michel at that point. So it's one of those things where it's a good thing he came home to play in Atlanta and all that, but at the same time, the Falcons are what they are, man. I hate to say it because I'm a big Braves fan, but everything in Atlanta get you hyped. But in the words of the great Bomani Jones, I'm off that narcotic, man. Please.
But what about on Atlanta defense? Grady needs some help. Grady can't do it by himself.
Grady is playing outstanding, and I'm gonna be honest, I never thought Grady was gonna be what he is. Grady is like one of the best defensive linemen in the league. You know, he's
Yeah,
right
Grady ball.
there. He's below Aaron Donald and the guy in Philadelphia, the D tackle in Philly. I mean, Grady is a run stopper. He's a sacker. You know, from out of the nose tackle position, man.
Yeah.
I mean, where you constantly double team. You know,
Yeah.
Grady makes plays.
And Grady 5'11" on a good day.
Yeah, you know, I'm probably bigger than Grady. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you know, it's all heart and playing hard for Grady. That's the thing. But the thing about the Falcons were relevant when Michael was there. I'm not a big Matt
Ryan
fan. Everybody talks about him like he's the greatest thing in the world, and I'm like, bruh.
He's a prototypical quarterback. He's got the build. He's got the size. I mean, that's what they look at.
If Julio didn't do the stuff that he was doing, man, I just don't see Matt Ryan doing anything. Because Julio makes him look good. You know what I'm saying?
When he's in the game, when he's playing. Well, Ridley does a good job.
Ridley does a good job. But Ridley, if Julio's in the game and Ridley's there, Ridley's supposed to be catching footballs, man.
Yeah, because Julio got 3 people on him.
Right. You know, the popcorn man on Julio, man. Shoot.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know, so you better catch some footballs. But you know, the thing about it is, when you're a great football player, a lot of times you can't be stopped, no matter who's on you. We saw that with the great Jerry Rice. We saw it with Randy. We saw it with T.O. You know, some of these cats, man, no matter who on you, you know, you could have the best player in the league on you. Be on Reeves Island. It don't matter. They're going to make plays. That's just what they do. But the Falcons can't get out their own way. Arthur Blank, I think, is a good owner. But at the same time, they don't make good draft decisions sometimes. And then they free agent. They like to make splashes. I think they make splashes at the wrong positions. You know, that's a team that needs to really sit down and look themselves in the mirror, because you're never going to get that funk of, I was up 28-3 in the Super Bowl and get it off you. You can't wash that off, man, no matter how hard you try.
You think that's a part of the Atlanta curse? I mean, because Atlanta has some dynamic teams in the past, and for whatever reason, they just couldn't take it to the.
Yeah, it's part of the curse, man. I'll be the first one to say that, because the Braves are cursed, and the Braves didn't help themselves by moving up 75 to go to Kennesaw and play.
That's a beautiful stadium, though.
It's a beautiful stadium, but they ain't. I mean, man, that ain't Atlanta Braves. You supposed to be in the hood. You supposed to be on Martin Luther King Boulevard. You supposed to be. That's where you supposed to be at, across from the Kentucky Fried Chicken, where we would always leave the Braves game, go get us some chicken,
go get a bucket and go to the house.
Or we went back up the road. You know.
I'll tell you what, though. 2 years ago, I had the distinct pleasure. I always have to tell my story, and I'm gonna shut it down after this. You know, I had the pleasure of going to a Falcons game on Thanksgiving. See my little brother play. He plays with the Saints. Shout out to Latavius Murray. But I got some tickets and got there. You know, got situated. Found out I was in club seating. You know, so needless to say, I had a pretty good time at that game. But after the game, guy was with my other brother. You know, we went back to his cousin's house. His cousin's happens to be Grady. And so we're at the house, we're just chilling out, you know, and next thing I know, one of the Baltimore Ravens all-time greats is walking around the corner. What's up, fellas? None other than Mr. Ray Lewis. You know, so I met Mr. Ray Lewis. He's about an inch taller than me, about 3 feet wider than me. That's a big fella. I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
pretty big fella.
He is, man. Ray is huge. You know, that's one of and I'll say this, you know, I respect Ray Lewis with the utmost respect. Him and Ed Reed is part of what made Steelers Ravens so powerful, along with T. Suggs and you know, with Hines Ward and Joey Porter and James Harrison and all that. That's what makes Ravens Steelers so great, is the greatness that was on the field all the time when we played each other, man. You talking about just Hall of Famers off both teams that when it's all said and done, because like I said, Marquise just retired. He's going in. Troy's going in this year because they didn't have it last year. Ben's going to go in when it's all said and done. Ed and Ray's already in there. T Suggs is going to be in there when it's all said and done. Marshall Yonder for the Ravens is going to be in there. Just off those two teams, you just got living legends. Basically. Ed, one of the greatest safeties to ever play the game. Troy, one of the greatest safeties to ever play the game. Ray, I would put Ray as probably third best linebacker ever to play the game. And the reason why I say third best linebacker, because you're talking about LT, and then the second best linebacker, do you say Butkus?
You need to take LT off the list, man. LT was a different animal. LT
I'm just saying, you talking about Ray, you putting Ray with LT, Butkus, and Ray Lewis. That's your linebackers, man. Yeah. And I'm putting him in front of 3 Steeler greats. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm telling you, Ray Lewis was unbelievable. Just ask
Eddie George.
Yeah, Eddie George. Just ask Eddie George. All right, so let's run through this right quick before we run out of time. And we just gonna go through the draft order. You just holler at what you feel like they need. Jaguars, you think they
they're getting Trevor. They're going for Trevor.
Okay,
they're definitely getting Trevor.
The Jets.
Well, with the exit of Sam Darnold, I think that's their most pressing need right now. They need a quarterback. Now, who that is, whether they do that through the draft or they do that through free agency, don't know, but they really need to address the quarterback situation. That's probably their most dire position. Okay, 49ers. You got Jimmy G. I don't know why they hollering quarterback. I don't understand. Yeah, I really don't see a need for the 49ers. I mean,
they just need to get all their players that was hurt last year back on the field.
Healthy. That's the thing. If the only thing I think they're getting long in the tooth is on the back end, because Sherman's getting a little bit older. I mean, but that's probably the only place they might be deficient. I mean, because if they're healthy, they're gonna be a problem.
Okay, Falcons.
Defense. You pick a spot. I mean, except for Grady. I mean, they need help.
Gotcha.
You probably need some pass rushers. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely need that because they can't generate one.
But they got rid of Tank, didn't they?
Yep, sure did.
Yeah, so yeah, they definitely need some pass rushers.
Bengals.
Healthy Joe Burrow, but they're probably going to need a wide receiver because AJ is getting a little long in the tooth.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this here. They are 1 or 2 players away, and probably a year and a half, 2 years away. They're gonna be ruling the division. They've made some good draft picks over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
They gonna be ruling the division. When they beat us last year, I saw a lot of good players on that team. They just young, man. They just young.
They just need some time.
Yeah. Dolphins.
I don't know what the Dolphins will be deficient. If I would say anything, I mean, probably running back, but I don't know. I think Tua would probably need some protection, but I would say running back.
Running back or O-line, I think, for the Dolphins. That's probably their best. Their defense is up and coming. Led by another Clemson Tiger, Mr. Wilkins. So, that's how that goes. Detroit.
A head coach.
A whole organization. That's what the Lions need. A whole organization.
Yeah, just throw it on the chalkboard. I mean, you put everything on there. Just throw something out there.
I mean, I've never seen a team just utterly every year. I would probably put them as them in Cleveland is probably always just the worst.
Cleveland makes strides.
Cleveland makes strides. Detroit ain't making no strides. All right. Yeah. We already said the Panthers need O-line help. Broncos.
I'm not sure. Maybe wide receiver. I haven't really been following the Broncos.
They got a young core. Their biggest problem is their defense is getting old.
With Vaughn. Yeah.
They're getting old.
Is Vaughn gonna play this year?
I don't know. Nobody knows. He might be with his chickens. There ain't no telling.
Yeah, that's true.
We already talked about the Cowboys, Giants. What you feel like?
They just need to get healthy. That's the thing.
I think that's the key for them. Defense is good. Offensively, offensive line help if anything, because they got to protect what's called, and they got to open some running lanes for Saquon.
Yeah.
The Eagles.
Discipline, because they're all over the place. I mean, but in all honesty, they probably I think they probably need some linebacker help, if anything.
You think Jalen Hurts gonna be pretty good?
I think he's gonna be serviceable. I think if they play their strengths, they'll be okay.
Okay. Chargers.
Haven't been really following the Chargers to know. They're set at wide receiver because they got Mike Williams and they're good there.
Got Williams and Allen, so they good. Keenan Allen.
They still got Melvin Ingram up front, so
yeah.
I think they should be good there.
They just got to be healthy. Their biggest problem is they get hurt at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert showed me a lot last year. He's hot, man.
About that. Yeah. Tyrod. I don't know what they're gonna do with Tyrod.
Tyrod gone, man. Tyrod in Texas.
Oh, he in Texas?
Yeah.
See, I hadn't been following.
He with Houston. He insurance policy in case Deshaun can't play.
Can't play.
Right.
Yeah, but Herbert, yeah, he balled last year.
Yeah. All right. Vikings.
Quarterback. Kirk, he's not that dude.
I know.
I mean, he had a couple of good years there, but I think it's for sale.
No. Quarterback, I agree. Patriots.
Some receivers to help Cam. Edelman, with the exit of Edelman, I think they need some receivers. I think they're always going to be good with Belichick on defense. I just think they need either some receivers or a good tight end.
One or the other, because they missed Gronk last year. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Cardinals.
Nothing. Just time to jail. I mean, you got Newt, you got Kyler Murray, you got who do they have at running back?
They traded away they picked last year, the guy that was running the ball for them last year. I cannot remember, so obviously he wasn't no good. So probably running back is their spot. That'll be a good place for ETN. In that offense, you already spread out. You give him a lane, he gone. Because you got to double team Newt. Because if you're gonna leave Newt by itself,
you in trouble.
Yeah.
I would probably bring in a receiver to learn under Fitzgerald before he retires, if he's not going already. Other than that, you might need some help on the back end because they gave up a lot of points last year too.
Yeah, they did. Raiders,
it might be time. I'm not taking anything away from Derek Carr, but it might be time. I don't think Gruden gonna get if Gruden gonna get a quarterback, he's gonna get a veteran. He's not gonna get a youngster. Exactly. Yeah, he's gonna get older guys. So I would say, I mean, he spent that pick on Farrell and in pass rushes. So I think just continue beefing that defense up. Give yourself an insurance policy. Because I mean, they played some good games last year. So
they got a good offense. Their defense is a little suspect. That's the problem with them. They can run the football. They can pass the football. Their problem is they make mistakes at the wrong time. They steal the Raiders. They're gonna get penalties at the yin yang because they're the Raiders. But that's how they go. The no-name football team.
Quarterback situation. I think that's gonna be the big thing. They got rid of Haskins. Alex Smith is question mark. I don't even know if he'll get there. So he retired. He's out of there.
He's out of there.
He fell out of favor with the organizations. I don't know who they have at quarterback.
Nobody.
That's what they need.
Nobody.
They're going to have to address that. I think they got all the other pieces. This is what scares me. That's going to be the thing. We got Chase Young and company.
I'm going to be honest about them. When they got Ron Rivera, I knew they fortunes was spending change. That was a smart move.
Yeah, definitely.
I still ain't figured out why the Panthers got rid of Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera does more with less than anybody in the league, man. So,
definitely. But he's a defensive guy.
I know, but still, I mean, you winning football games, man, and you ain't got no offense. Come on, man.
Yeah, definitely.
You ain't got no offense, and you almost beat Tampa Bay last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, so
They were supposed to be.
if you had a quarterback, you might have could have won that football game.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's saying a lot. The Tampa Bay defense was.
Yeah, I know. So that tell you right there, you know, this was a one-score game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Bears. Quarterback.
Yeah.
Still reeling from not picking Deshaun Watson. I'll take that right now.
Right. Nick Foles and Trubisky. I mean, that's just
that's a terrible combination.
Yeah.
Colts.
The Colts, they don't need anything on defense. If anything, they might need a receiver.
Another wide receiver. And a quarterback, because I think Phillip Rivers is retiring.
Yeah. And I don't know who backup is there.
Jacoby Brissett, he's the backup.
Yeah, Brissett,
so you got a quarterback, you got a serviceable quarterback.
Yeah.
If the quarterback you want ain't there, I say go get him a wide receiver or a tight end or something.
Yeah, somebody help Ty.
Yeah. Titans.
The Titans are probably going to need some O-line help. I think because Derrick Henry, I mean, he's the great equalizer and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, I think they're solid. I think they're solid on defense. O-line help, or I don't think they need a quarterback. I think the quarterback they have is serviceable, but I'd probably say some O-line help. Okay. Because I mean, when Derrick Henry was out, you know, you had some pedestrian games there that didn't really say a lot, you know.
You're right. I got you. All right. We already talked about the Steelers. Seattle.
O-line.
Definitely.
Let Russ cook. Give him some help.
If you don't go O-line, I would go O-line first, then running back. Yep. Then running back. The Rams.
I think they got what they wanted in Matthew Stafford. I think that was their biggest weakness. The quarterback. I was never sold on Jared Goff. I think defensively they're going to be okay. Only other thing they need is a running back.
Man, you came pretty strong with that take there, bro. You know, I like that. Cleveland Browns.
Get rid of Baker Mayfield. Now I'm just in all honesty, I think they just need time to gel. I think they're pretty solid. If anything, get some O-line help.
Yeah, probably. You think picking up Clowney was a good move?
Clowney's best days were at Clemson. I'm not at all at
Carolina.
Yeah. I mean, he has all the potential. Where I still say if he's healthy and his mind is in it, he could probably be one of the greatest. He'd probably be one of the best defensive players in the game. But for whatever reason, man, he just hadn't been able to turn it on. He doesn't want to turn it on.
You can't get sacks playing on the opposite side from J.J. Watt.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Nothing gonna happen for you, bro. If you don't get double-digit sacks this year, playing opposite of Garrett, your career was one hit, and that was it.
Michigan, yeah,
that was it. The Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens. What do the Ravens need? They might need some back end help, or a little bit of wide receiver help too.
They need offensive line because they traded away their best offensive lineman, and the back end. Their back end is terrible. They don't have pass rushes after T. Suggs left last year. They don't have pass rushes, so we don't fear the Ravens like we used to, because I mean, used to be the scheme the Ravens had was you didn't know where they was coming from, but now I mean they pedestrian on defense.
But yeah, and then on offense, I mean, you got Lamar, but that's saying a whole lot too.
Well, but see, you if you play Lamar like we play Lamar and don't rush him, see, I've seen us drop all 10 players, man, and rush one against Lamar, and that throws him off.
Yeah,
we do some stuff to Lamar, so he got to get better at reading defenses, and he got to understand what he's going through. Saints. Think Jameis gonna take him to the promised land, man?
I think Jameis can if they give him an opportunity. I think their biggest need, I would say, is be on the back end, because on some games, It's their cornerback play has let them down.
Well, they need safeties too, because Malcolm Jenkins got burnt last year a lot. He cannot cover anybody in the slot or any big tight ends. So he gets burnt.
Yeah.
Packers.
Wide receiver. They need one more to help Aaron Rodgers out. Devontae was a beast. Don't get me wrong. If they get one more guy to help Aaron Rodgers out, it's gonna be scary. Or tight end, because I'm not sure who their tight end was. I think they're great at running back. They had Grant. No, the Graham wasn't there, was it?
Graham was there, but Graham ain't been nothing since he left New Orleans, man.
That's true. If they get a tight end or one more good wide receiver, I mean, not even he doesn't have to be Devontae level. If he can produce 75% of what Devontae does, I mean, to make you pay attention to him on the other side, that's going to be a problem.
Well, that's what they need. That's what they need. Buffalo.
I don't see a need for Buffalo. I mean, they had everything they have everything they need. If I would do anything, I'd probably pass rushing. I mean, they're good there. I mean, they're good everywhere.
Yeah, they're good everywhere. They're young too, so they're gonna be there for a little while. Them and the Chiefs probably gonna be your next big rivalry for the next few years in the AFC.
Yeah, Chiefs. I would go ahead and start building my old line up.
Well, they just got Orlando Brown from the Ravens. That was a good move to give up the draft pick, get him, sign him to a long-term deal. We saw what happened when they lost half of their offensive line before the Super Bowl. So
exactly,
that was a smart move on their part. And then finish up with Tampa Bay.
Quarterback.
Most definitely. He can't play forever. This deal with the devil that he got, I don't know what it is, but ain't no man supposed to have no 7 Super Bowl rings. Ain't no man,
some great defensive teams.
ain't no man supposed to still be playing at 44 years old. Tell me he ain't taking nothing. You got to be kidding me. He cream of the clear.
But Brett Favre, he played for a while, but he didn't know any better.
Brett Favre was garbage. Okay, this right here. He got one.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, which is one more than what I got. So that tell me all I need to know right there. He got one. So like I say, hope you all, that's the end of our draft NFL preview. We're going to do another NFL season preview later on before the season starts. We also going to do college football before the season starts. This is, again, we can talk football all day long. This is our favorite. It's one of those things where the draft gets us ready for a training camp. We get to start digging down deep and seeing what's going on with your team, make sure everything goes well. I know a lot of you all will watch the first round on Thursday. Also watch Friday for the second and third rounds. But the way you make your best moves is on Saturday when you 4th through the 7th round. That's where your players that make up the majority of your roster is going to be. Your good teams find players in those rounds. Your bad teams,
players come from.
Your bad teams waste their time picking superstars. Your good teams always make their hay on the third day.
They find the fit.
Yeah, that's where your best players most of the time come from, is 4th through the 7th round. So every now and again, more often than not, you swing and miss on your first and second rounders. Your third rounders are also probably your strong suits. That was one of the things I read this earlier this week. Cowboys really hadn't did well with their second round picks in the last 10 years. And that's saying a lot, because that means one of your draft picks are not any good.
They're not finding those dogs
for the last 10 years, man.
Yeah, they need to find that dog. They need to find that guy with a chip on his shoulder, that doesn't care about, where he goes as long as he goes, because he got to eat. Yeah, that's what they need to find. You know, those are always going to be your better players. You know, the ones that got a chip on the shoulder because I know all these people aren't better than me. So let me show you what I can do.
Right.
You know?
Right. And that's been the thing. And again, you know, more often than not, draft is where you make where you're gonna make your season or break your season. If you don't pick good players, you always gonna be in a bad situation. So that's where we at in the NFL. So again, we'll get more into football as the season comes closer. We want to thank all of you all for listening again. Thank you for downloading prior to this. Hope you continue to like it and enjoy everything that's going on.
Definitely. I'm going to close out by saying thanks for showing us love. We take time out of our day just to do this. I mean, we're having fun, but obviously with the downloads and you know the increased support, and you know we're doing something good here, and we hope to continue and hope to. I mean, the simplest thing is the draft is just to touch people in you know in some way, shape, or form. You know, we appreciate you.
All right. So for Brother Long and Coop Charles, we want to thank y'all again, and we'll be talking to y'all in probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks. All right. And y'all keep downloading. Tell your brother, tell your sister, tell your mother, tell your father, tell your uncle, aunt. Everybody download it, man. I know, you know, the last two have been kind of long, but you know, it's good entertainment. If you ain't got nothing to do, it's better than, you know, sitting there listening to somebody getting paid to talk this kind of stuff, man. We do this for the love, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we just talk just like you would if you was talking in the backyard.
That's it. You're in the house, turn on She Good People. You stuck in traffic, turn on She Good People. Ain't got nothing to do, turn on She Good People. You got something to do, turn on She Good People.
That's what I'm talking about, SGP, baby.
All right, and we're out.